What is going on, everybody? I hope you guys had a fantastic weekend. It's super late, and I'm in my dorm currently, and I'm editing videos of this Lamborghini. So, this whole story is where I'm from in my small town. We have a small air show, and the United States Air Force Thunderbirds was there, or were there, and we obviously went to go see them and whatnot. They had a pretty sweet setup. They had an F-18 there also, doing just some flight demonstrations and whatnot that it can do. So that was really cool. So I ended up walking around and seeing this Precision Exotics. I think that's the name. I'll put it up right here. Right there. Okay, so whatever it's called. So I ended up seeing their trailer there with this Lamborghini and Ferrari there. And, you know, me obviously being the car guy that I am in the future that I want to do, instantly went over there and I saw it was $150 to drive a car. And I was like, we'll see. It's a lot of money. And then I realized you got to drive it down the track. You got to do, that's pretty much it. You just get a floor driving down the track. So that was actually kind of in the back of my head the entire time. I was like, do I really want to do this? Do I really want to spend $150 doing this? So yeah, I did do it, obviously. So this was my first time ever driving a supercar like this. I've never driven anything like this with this much power before. The only thing I've driven with remotely that much power is probably my friend's BMW. It's a 335i with the twin turbo. It's the older generation, so it has the twin turbo straight six. That's a fast car. So, but this is on a whole other level. So this is a 2007 Lamborghini Gallardo. It had the 5.3 liter V10. Don't quote me on that. But it had, you know, the iconic Lamborghini V10. And since I figured the other car was a Ferrari 430 Spider or something like that, don't quote me on that either. So since this was instead of a track, because I guess you do tracks also with this company, since it wasn't a track, it was just pure straight line. You were literally on a runway during the air show. I decided to go with the Lamborghini because the Lamborghini is obviously, with the V10 like that, it's going to be a lot quicker than the V8 and the Ferrari. So I decided to go with the Lamborghini. Initial impressions when I got in the car were, you know, it's the Lamborghini, obviously. It's a gorgeous car. It was dirty, especially with me being a detail person. It was extremely dirty. It almost looked like a matte, but it wasn't supposed to be a matte paint. I don't know, something didn't seem right about it. I get inside and the interior is pretty filthy. There's just dust. It's not like disgustingly filthy. I mean, it's a used car, and these guys beat the living heck out of these cars, so it's nothing that I wouldn't expect. So I get in the car, the instructor comes in, or the owner and the instructor comes in. His name's Eric too. He was pretty nice. I mean, he wasn't nice, but nothing to complain about. It's just straightforward. Get in the car and start driving and whatnot, and come around the Thunderbirds. Really weird to say, but come around the Thunderbirds, and he kind of just tells me, you know, just get used to the car, you know, give it some gas, you know, this is what you're going to be dealing with. So I floor it, and, you know, he throws me back in my seat, and I didn't expect it, and you can see my facial reaction when I do that. I'm blown away by how fast this car is. But I noticed the transmission wasn't as fast as I want it to be, and I was kind of surprised by that. So I was like, okay, you know, maybe the transmission's a little goofy. I get it. These cars get beat on every day for their lives, and it's the 07 Gallardo, so I believe, don't quote me on this either. God, I'm saying that a lot. But I believe that these are the first generation dual clutches in these Lamborghinis, and these things are notorious for being terrible in automatic mode. We weren't allowed to put it in manual mode. We weren't allowed to do launch control or anything like that. Obviously, the car had it, but we were only allowed to put it in sport mode, and that's it. So I've been watching a couple of YouTubers who used to own one. His name's Troy Sowers. He used to own a Verde Ithaca Lamborghini, and he would only drive it in manual mode because that transmission was that bad. It had to be driven in manual mode, otherwise it was just slow and clanky. And in the video you can see how bad this transmission was. You know, I'm coming around onto the main runway, and he tells me to floor it, so I floor it, and it sits in first gear, and it hits red line, and it just keeps bouncing off the rev limiter, and it starts clunking, and I'm going, what the heck is happening? I thought I broke the car. And then it just downshifts, and then it it takes a long time to shift too. It wasn't a quick, exotic kind of shift. My truck shifts just as fast as it shifted, which was really weird. So the transmission was obviously the huge down part of the car, but I guess you're only supposed to go 150 miles an hour, but I guess we had enough runway or something. Ended up going 175 in the car, and the windows were down, so it was extremely loud, but it was really cool. It was definitely an experience. I would definitely recommend doing it. It is pricey. $150 isn't cheap, but if you're into cars and this is your dream and stuff like that, you've got to do it. It's definitely a experience nonetheless, and very cool one. Driving a Lamborghini like that. But overall, it was a good experience. The transmission though, gosh, it was good, or it wasn't good. Sorry, but it is what it is. That car gets beat on every day and just floored and driven and floored and driven and floored. It's rough, but oh well. It's a sweet car nonetheless. A very sweet car. Stuff like this is definitely that extra push that makes me really want to get this kind of car. Not necessarily a Lamborghini per se, but a sports car / supercar along these lines when I'm older. That's kind of the huge goal here. But anyways, enough of me talking, and let's get to the video of me driving. And also, there will be it's going to be two perspectives. There's going to be the GoPro on the car when I do the actual run, and my buddy Dominic, who was filming, he took my phone and was filming, the initial part and whatnot. So let's get to those videos.
All right, ready.
How was it, buddy?
Wow. Oh, that's awesome. That's a fast car.
Was it worth it?
It's a nice car.
Was it worth it?
Worth it.
Okay, good.
It was worth everything.
Okay, sign off your
Worth it. Signing off. This is Eric. Driving Lamborghinis.